The world of Kenshi is a vast, brutal desert, a place where growing food is nearly impossible and getting a proper meal is a luxury. In a world this harsh, the bars scattered around the continent are more than just drinking spots. They are lifelines. They serve as hubs for workers, travelers, and the occasional wandering psychopath. Found in nearly every settlement, bars often take center stage, acting as the town's unofficial beating heart. So today, we're teaming up with none other than Aboot Kenshi himself to hunt down the best bar in the entire game. At the end of the video, we'll discover the bar in Kenshi every traveler should visit at least once in their short lives. Let's jump straight in and start with the Dead Cat Bar. The Dead Cat Bar is tucked away in a quiet little fishing village along Kenshi's northern coast. A place ruled by the Dead Cat faction. Once a thriving city-state, the Dead Cats have long since been devoured by history, after losing their hometown to the cannibals in what's now called the Cannibal Plains. What's left of them is, well, this soggy coastal fishing outpost and a whole lot of PTSD. The bar itself is the biggest building in the village, which says a lot. Around here, if you're not gutting fish, you're drinking grog. Or both. Probably both. I had a quick chat with Jarvel, the barmaid. She warned me about the local cannibals, which was very kind. But she also kept calling me roamer and outlander. I don't know what I expected from someone with a posture of a crab. Still, I do appreciate the heads up. 3 out of 5 food cubes for service. When it comes to culinary offerings, the menu was, well, as dry as the desert next door. Fish and grog. That's it. Eat fish, drink grog, go out, catch more fish, repeat until existential dread kicks in. What a life to live. Honestly, I was hoping for at least one sad dust witch. That's 2 out of 5 food cubes. Now for lodgings, this place is pretty interesting. The sleeping area is actually pretty spacious. Probably meant for all the salty fishermen stumbling in at dawn. However, the downside is that the beds are in the middle of the frickin' bar. So while Jarvel is frying up another batch of oily tilapia, Gordon is trying to sleep through it, inhaling fish fumes with every breath. No windows, no ventilation, just fever dreams of fish and chips. 3 out of 5 food cubes. And finally, for the vibe check. You know what? I kinda like it here. There are these nice stools and picnic tables scattered around. The fishermen are friendly in a grumpy uncle kinda way. And just outside of town you've got a killer view of the bay. Assuming you're not actively being chased by cannibals. 4 out of 5 food cubes for the vibe. If you enjoy sea views, the constant aroma of burnt fish and the slight risk of getting eaten alive, great place. But if you're not into surprise amputations via cannibal ambush, then maybe this next spot is more your flavor. The Crab Bar. The Crab Bar sits inside of Crabtown, deep inside the Eastern Pit region, way out southeast in the map. It's essentially a small fortress naturally shielded by the surrounding mountains, kinda like a crab shell. What a coincidence, since the crab raiders who live there actually worship crabs. They breed crabs, they train crabs, they also sell crabs?
A few moments later.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Meet Bob, our new friend. Economically, the town seems to thrive on iron mining. There are 2 refineries, a smithy, and the entire landscape is filled with iron ore nodes. The Crab Bar itself is one of the 2 big dome buildings in the town, the other one being the Crab Queen's Palace. Yes, that's actually her title. She's not as scary as that sounds. Now the Crab Bar's bartender Elder was actually a really chill guy. He randomly spoke of never seeing someone leaving the Ashlands alive, and he himself, he certainly wouldn't go without a crab. And something about that made me laugh like a 14-year-old boy behind my computer. That gets a 4 out of 5 food cubes for service. Now for the culinary part, this is where the Crab Bar really shines. There's fish, food cubes, rice bowls, bread, and even gohan. It's basically a 5-star menu, especially by Kenshi standards. Easy 5 out of 5. Lodgings though, meh. It's just like Dead Cat, you sleep in a fish-scented sauna of sadness. 3 out of 5 food cubes. And the vibe is kinda dodgy. I do love all the crabs around walking outside, but inside, man, the bar is full of twitchy bar thugs who just wanted to fight me all the time. That's 2 out of 5 food cubes, didn't like that. By the way, if you're enjoying the video so far, feel free to drop a like and subscribe. Now back to a bar that's a little less crustacean covered. The Bar of Mourn. This bar is located in the middle of Mourn, a crumbling ruin run by the tech hunters deep in the bone fields. An area so hostile even the wildlife is traumatized. The town is built inside a hollowed out corpse of some ancient megastructure, probably what lured in the tech hunters here in the first place. Sadly, most of the buildings here have been destroyed, apparently by some massive slave rebellion sometime in the past. Also, fun fact, there's 0 guards at the gates. The bar itself is one of the few buildings still standing. A cozy little stormhouse type building staffed by the trade ninjas. The bartender here was also a pretty chill guy. He warned me not to enter the headquarters building. Apparently they've got something locked inside of there. Whatever it is, I respect the heads up. 4 out of 5 food cubes. And the food over here was fine. It had a bit of variety, a little bit of booze, but nothing fancy. What did stand out though is that they also sell weapons, tools and other random items. I guess when the rest of the town is in rubble, the bar doubles as a general store, blacksmith and the post office. I like the idea. Still, the menu was just okay. 3 out of 5 food cubes. And for lodgings, the sleeping area is on the roof. I give them credit. At least you don't have to nap next to a deep fryer. But there are only 3 beds here and they're just out there. In the open. I can already feel the sand in places that will get me demonetized if I name them. 3 out of 5, best I can do. And now for the vibe check, let me be brutally honest with you. This is the least safe bar in all of Kenshi. Period. The bar sits right next to the main gate and the gate has 0 gate guards. I stayed here for a few nights and saw bone dogs and even big things casually stroll into town and decimate the poor villagers that live there. It was just awful. 0 out of 5 food cubes and you cannot change my mind on this one. Now the next bar is something completely different. We arrived at the Smugglers Bar, located in the middle of absolutely nowhere in Shem. Seriously, what else is there to do in Shem? The bar is run by the Gravelayers, one of the shady factions operating out of Shark. I'm about 99% sure they're using this place as a front, and based on the fact that you can openly sell illegal substances here, I think it's working out pretty well for them. The bartender was a total dork though. Very blunt, 0 personality. 2 out of 5 food cubes for the service. But the food itself was surprisingly good. It was a solid variety of foodstuffs, and when I visited they were fully stocked on gohans, which is wild considering this bar is surrounded by nothing but desert and despair. I give this bar a 4 out of 5 food cubes for food. And then we get to the lodgings, and they're actually really good. You just head up the stairs behind the bar and boom, a whole first floor dedicated to beds. No weird fish fumes. Sure, not a lot of privacy, but in Kenshi terms, this is a 5-star hotel. Full points, 5 out of 5. Let's go. Now for the vibe, meh. It wasn't bad, but it's not cozy either. Like there was this guy with a bounty on his head just staring at me the entire time from across the room. Combine that with the overall sketchy energy and yeah, 3 out of 5. And here we are, the final bar on our list. Welcome to the Rebel Bar, baby. Inside of the border zone not far from the hub, the Rebel Bar is also run by the trade ninjas. And it's got some pretty unique policies.
That's simply not possible.
They accept stolen goods, as long as they're not stolen from them. Even better, there are 3 bartenders working the counter. That's right, you never have to wait more than half a second for your drink. Peak service, 5 out of 5. Absolute legends. Now for the food variety, it was fine. A little bit of everything. A bit of booze, nothing special, but it gets the job done. 3 out of 5. And for lodgings, also not great. The same as in Mourn. Small, basic, a few beds tucked away, nothing memorable, but enough to crash safely. Now the bar itself isn't in a town, so it's just standing here in the open. You'd think that it makes them vulnerable, but strangely enough, the border zone is actually safer than you'd expect. Plus they have a ton of guards with crazy stats. I wouldn't mess with these guys. For the vibe check, I'll admit, I am biased. For me, this was the first bar I ever found in Kenshi that wasn't inside of a town. And something about that just hit different. It felt like a true wasteland outpost where wanderers gather, stolen goods trade hands, and you don't ask too many questions. That alone already had me sold. Easy 5 out of 5 food cubes. And that wraps up our bar crawl. 5 very different watering holes, 5 very different experiences. Of course, there are a ton more bars in Kenshi, but I just couldn't crap them all into one video. Let's break down the scores one last time. Dead Cat Bar, a pretty mid-tier spot. Basic food, fishy everything, and awkward service. 3 out of 5. The Crab Bar had incredible food variety, armored by actual crabs, but the twitchy drunkards kinda killed the vibe. 3.5 out of 5 food cubes. The Bar of Mourn was pretty decent all around, but the constant threat of the wildlife ruins the experience big time. 2.5 out of 5 food cubes. Smugglers Bar. Feels illegal, smells like trouble, but those lodgings? Mwah! Great. 3.5 out of 5 food cubes. But the big winner is the Rebel Bar. 3 bartenders, safe-ish location, and the most unique outlaw vibe in the game. I just love that it thrives in the middle of nowhere and can be found by any new player just starting at the hub. Gets a total score of 4 out of 5 food cubes. If you're only visiting one bar in Kenshi, which I doubt you will, make it this one. Let me know in the comments down below which Kenshi bar is your personal favorite. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and if you want to support my content and want to become named as a character in my playthroughs, check out my Patreon or YouTube memberships. And to my patrons, thank you so much. You guys are the MVPs. Thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next one. Bye.